Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today I have a treat for you. We're going to make a raspberry mousse eclair. And it sounds really complicated, super easy. Fabulous dessert for Valentine's Day to make for your sweetie. Or you're looking for a marriage proposal, I almost would guarantee you'll get one with this. It is spectacular dessert for any time. But before we get started, I'd like you to click that notification button because I really want you to become a subscriber. I don't want you to miss any of my tips or videos because they're really great. And I love inviting you into my kitchen. I really like having you here. All right, so we're gonna make what's known as a cream puff dough or an éclair dough or a pâte à choux in French if you want to be fancy. And it's one of the easiest doughs to make. It is steam leavened. There's only 4 ingredients in the entire dough, and you can make so many different things with it. You can make éclairs. You can make little tiny éclairs or little round cream puffs, also known as profiteroles, or you can make bigger cream puffs and various other things like Paris-Brest, which I have made on various videos. First thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's a very high temperature because we want to create steam. And the basic thing, the basic ingredient in this dough is water. And water is a powerful leavener. So we're going to go to our stove and I'm going to turn on my cooktop and I'm going to put in 1 cup of water. Now some people do use they use milk instead of the water. You'll get the crispiest cream puffs or pâte à choux if you use water, because water will create a lot more steam than butter. Although butter does have water in it, it has other things as well. So we're going to melt this butter and water, and if you want to come take a look at this, you can. Okay, so we're going to bring this to a rolling boil and you're going to give it a minute or so. So this is 1 cup of water and 1 stick or 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And we're going to let that melt. And it shouldn't take long because this is an induction hot plate. It should only take a minute or 2. In the meantime, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour waiting. And once this gets to a rolling boil, we are actually going to basically dump the flour into this mixture. We're basically creating a roux. So if you've ever made a roux for a sauce, a savory sauce, you usually melt butter and you put flour into it. The water is just something we're adding because of this specific type of specialty dough. So this is going to take a minute. Once we actually get this to a rolling boil, we're going to take it off the heat. We're going to put this flour on, and then we're going to stir it up. It's going to look like you messed up, like you really screwed up. Chef Gail told me the wrong thing to do. It's going to look like mashed potatoes. That's what it's going to look like. It's actually going to look like you mashed some potatoes. It will not taste like mashed potatoes, but it will look like that. It will be thick and clumpy, and you're just going to mix and mix and mix until everything gets pulled together. And then we're going to add 5 eggs. That's a lot of eggs. The more eggs you can get into this particular type of dough, this cream puff or pâte à choux dough, the most gorgeous puff you will get. Because éclairs, because they're steam leavened, they actually rise by the steam, so it's pushing up on the dough, the steam, once it forms in this hot oven, all the water-based ingredients in this dough. And then there's eggs. The egg proteins will actually coagulate. They'll get firm and cause structure, and then they'll snap. And in the middle, you'll have this space, this beautiful space, which we are going to fill with raspberry mousse. Look what we got here, folks. We have a beautiful boil, okay? So I am going to put the flour in all at once. I'm going to really mix this up. I'm leaving it on for a second because I want to remove the starchiness of our of our flour. So we're just gonna cook it for like a minute or so. Doesn't it look like mashed potatoes, right? Don't get worried, you did not mess up. You did not mess up, I promise you. It's supposed to look like this, but it does look like mashed potatoes. And do not serve it as mashed potatoes because it won't taste like it. So once this cools a little bit, I can either mix my eggs one at a time right in this pot if I want to with a whisk, but I think I'm going to show you how to do it with a mixer. It's a little bit easier to do. It's hard to incorporate each egg with a whisk and not work out your biceps and triceps. So we're going to do it in a mixer. It'll make the time go a little bit easier. But in the meantime, we're going to take this off the heat and we're going to let it cool for a minute or two because we don't want our eggs to actually curdle. All right, so I'll see you back. I'm going to switch out my mixer and I'll see you back. I put my cream puff or my pâte à choux dough into my mixing bowl. I don't always use my glass mixing bowl because things usually fly out at me, but I want you to see how the eggs get incorporated into this dough. So you can do this by hand. You're going to use the paddle attachment. You're going to do it on low speed. It's had a chance to cool down just a little. I have 5 whole eggs, size large. I'm going to do one at a time. One at a time, all right? And the way I know one egg gets in there, just when one yolk falls in, enough white will fall into it to be approximately 1 egg. You're just gonna mix this in a little. And it will become very smooth and satiny looking. It'll look gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful dough. And then as that gets incorporated, you're gonna add your second one. And you're gonna do that 5 times. And like I said, the more eggs you can get into a pâte à choux or a cream puff batter, the lighter and the higher the cream puffs will come out or the eclairs will come out. It's a very versatile dough. You can make so many different things with it. So here goes my third one. And then once this is done, you pipe it or you just can spoon it onto a parchment lined sheet pan. And it looks like this is not coming together. Watch, it will. It looks like it's separated, but with your rubber spatula, you'll fix it. All right, I'm going to add my last egg. Just let that mix in a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is push down because some of the batter has not incorporated with the eggs. All right, so let's get all the good stuff in. It looks curdled, but it's not. It's just not mixed in exactly. So we're trying to get it all in there. And it will become a really nice dough. You can do this by hand too if you're looking for a good workout. I do it all the time. I just wanted you to see this right now, so. See how beautiful that is? That really is lovely. Really lovely, satiny looking. So I'm going to take that out of here. I'm just going to move this over. And then what I have done is I've taken a sheet pan and I've taken parchment and I've made lines on the parchment, about 4-inch long lines. I don't even know if you can see them. But I've made lines with a pen or a pencil, marks, just so I know where to pipe, because I'm going to pipe this with a pastry bag. I'm going to flip it over so that the pen marks do not directly touch the batter. And then with my finger, I'm going to take a little bit of batter and I'm going to put it on all 4 corners. You don't want to waste it, so just take a little dab. Little dab will do you. And then you're just going to put it down. And this will help it stick, because when you're piping something, very often, I'm going to take a second one and do the same thing, because I've already lined these. Because when you're piping something, very often the dough will pull up the parchment paper, and you don't want that. So once this is done, You can even use a freezer bag if you wanted to. And I'm just gonna take my finger and try to clean that off. Get all this good, beautiful, silky, almost yellow, golden yellow from the yolks of the eggs. It's a beautiful, beautiful batter. All right. And I have a pastry bag that I fitted with a large plain tip. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. You can actually use a freezer bag, like I said, and just cut a hole in it. It's got to be sturdy because this batter is sturdy. Whoop, I'm going to turn this and I just lost my... Okay, there we go. So what you want to do now is take some of your dough, and I'm going to hold on. You don't want to overfill the batter, and it may still be a little warm, all right? So that's fine, as long as it's not hot, hot. We don't have curdled eggs in here. I'm going to fill it about maybe half to 2/3 full. I'm going to refill it after. And I'm going to pipe some out so you can see what it looks like. Because we want eclairs, we want long shapes. So you're going to make sure the top, you twist it, and it's going to start coming out the bottom, whether you use a freezer bag or not. So be careful. And my lines are going like this, okay? So I'm going to pipe. You can pipe 3 or 4 inches, it's up to you. And then just pull back a little, all right? And then I'm gonna go down. And then just pull back a little. You can even do, I'm gonna grab my, if I wanna get a more of a steady surface. This marble's slippery, and I'm just gonna go 90 degrees and just pull, and then just sort of end it. And then you can even take your finger with a little water and just sort of smooth it down. I'm going to keep going, piping. You're going to put these in an oven. You're not going to do anything else to them, but put them in the oven at 425 degrees for 15 minutes. Do not open your oven. That is an order from Chef Gail. So 15 minutes at 425, then leave them in the oven. Lower the oven temperature to 350 and keep them in for another 15 minutes. I don't care what happens. Don't open that oven door because you want that steam to build up. You want them to get big and you want them to get golden brown. So after that amount of time, take them out and let them cool, and I'll see you back. Raspberry mousse eclairs are ready to fill and put together, and they are delicious and so beautiful, and they're going to be even better when we put it together. So in the meantime, while I was waiting for my mousse to chill, I took half a cup of heavy cream with 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup, brought it to a boil, and then I took it off the heat and added 1 cup of high quality semi-sweet chocolate chips. And that's going to be our chocolate topping, our like ganache topping. And then I took each of our eclairs, I'm about to do that, and I cut them in half crosswise, actually lengthwise, open them up, and they have this like little noodly stuff inside. That's where the egg proteins snap and form this nice little sort of cavity. So you can fill it with anything you want. So let me show you how one of them looks when you do that. So I'll just put these aside. So you're going to take a small sharp knife and you're going to go around very slowly around the top. Go about halfway, lengthwise. Okay. And you can see when you get here, there's this eggy stuff, Try to remove it. You can use a fork, but sometimes you're going to be a little too harsh with a fork. Take your fingers and do it. And also eat some. It's delicious. Now this one was a little bit just cut funny on the back. So let me take another one so you can see it. I'm just going to go around. Just go around. Okay. This made 20, so that's a good number. And just take all that Beautiful stuff. It almost tastes like a noodle to me, like an egg noodle. And you're going to leave that little cavity there. And then we're going to take a pastry bag, and we're going to take our mousse with a plain tip, or you can use an extra large freezer bag and just cut the side off. And you're not going to do it too much or too high. We're just going to fill each one, and then we're not going to cover it yet. So make sure you get the top. These are the bottoms. You can see they're a little browner. So we're just going to go back and forth. Just twice maybe. That's it. And we're going to leave it because I want to show you how I'm going to fill it, top it. Watch this. So I'm just going to take a little dish and put my ganache in there. And you can always rewarm it in the microwave. That's why I put it in a nice glass dish. And you're going to take the top. Just use your fingers, just like a little boat swimming on a chocolate pond. And you're just going to get as much as you can in there. See that? And let the drippies drip off. See how pretty? It doesn't have to be perfect, because sometimes eclairs have some lumps and bumps on the dough. Get all the excess off, and then just gently lay it on top. Okay, just gently lay it on top. Okay. And then I have some red compound chocolate. So you can get this in any store, kitchen supply store, and just cut off the little piece on the bottom, because you want just a little bit. I'm going to see if I can make hearts. So let's see. And I have a straight edge. I have let's just see. Yep. Okay. So we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want this all melty before you do anything else. I'm going to take like a dowel rod or a toothpick. And you want to make hearts because it's for Valentine's Day. And if you like the way it looks, you can do that. See how pretty? And then you can just put it right back on your board, or you can just drizzle it. So I'm going to continue cutting, filling, and topping my raspberry mousse eclairs. So I'm continuing to cut and fill my beautiful raspberry mousse eclairs, and you are going to have an incredible Valentine's Day party if you actually serve this to your sweetie. You may even be proposed to, or I don't know, fall in love. But I hope you make these. They're amazing, they're awesome, and they're delicious. I hope you become a subscriber. Till next time.